in collaboration with MIT Pune, we observed that spirituality has a great impact in our successful sustainability, and I hope personally we can carry this legacy. Whatever we are learning from here, we are able to spread it in all over our state, almost moreover of it across the country. And I wish all over success to each and everyone coming here, join and sharing the same platform to become more enlightened and a successful being to a great human being. So thank you everyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We will request some other volunteers to come and express their views and opinions. Sure, ma'am, please do. It'll be really nice to have an experience sharing, because for the last 3 days we have been brainstorming on quite a few important, significant topics. Over to you, ma'am.
Myself, Anju Chaudhary, Vice Chairperson from Uttar Pradesh, and I'm really grateful to the MIT and the NCW for giving us such a wonderful opportunity to be among 17 states, representatives from 17 states. And it has been a very nice time with all of you, discussing and talking about various topics. But the thing is, we are all working here for one cause, and that is cause for the women. We are working here for the women who are being, जिसको पीड़िता हम कहते हैं. We are working for the women who are distressed, who are depressed, who are being tortured, who are the unfortunate ones. So it is our duty that we do the ultimate in whichever field they are. We have to do the ultimate for them and work as much as we can. I will want my Uttar Pradesh members to understand that we are not here specially. And my earlier speaker, one of the speakers with which everyone could come up, I just requested her, please do not mention the state and do not mention, you just have to mention the country. That is more than enough, and not to mention the state from which we come, from which any problem has come from to you. So the media plays a big role, of course it is there, and we are there as representatives of the women in general. So we also work to the best, to the ultimate, to bring the truth and nothing but the truth. So the truth has to come from us first, then to the media, so that the media cannot give a, जिसको कहते हैं, twist to that story, cannot give a twist to the story and turn it in another way. This is what is very important. All kinds of topics we have come across, which has been really fruitful for us, and we have been noting down each and every point, and we are glad that we could all get together, and there was a sisterhood and a nice friendly atmosphere over here. We came across all the different states, women from different states, and it was a pleasure, and it was an enlightenment for all of us to be under this great hall, World Peace Hall. And of course we are very, very grateful to the Karade family, because the family has really worked to bring all religion, all kinds of people, the followers of whom we are all followers, together under one roof. And the excellent speech that our NCW President, Mrs. Rekha Sharma had given, and the excellent speech that our chief guest had given was really enlightening, and it was really great to hear such an elderly person such as Dr. Vishwanath Karade, and of course Mrs. Gandhi, who spoke yesterday, a lady of 88 years. So we must learn from them that we can work till the age of 90. So age doesn't come in your way if you have the feeling of working. You must have that spirit of working, and you will get through, and you will solve your problems yourself. This will be taught only by experience. So with all this, my best wishes to each one of you. Have a nice time in your states, and do the best and do the ultimate for the women in the society, because we are empowered women, and we can work. When we work for the family, we can work for the bigger family, that is the state. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and that was really a motivating speech where we all would agree that age is just a number. True that. Thank you so much. We have another important speech and feedback coming from ma'am. Over to you. May I kindly request you to introduce yourself and then share your feedback.
Dear friends, എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. We are from Kerala. 3 of the members are attending this program. My name is Shahida Kamal, and my co-members are Mrs. E.M. Radha and Advocate Shiji Shivaji. First of all, we are appreciated National Women's Commission and MIT Pune, organizing and conducting this type leadership development program. All sessions are very valuable and informative for us. And first of all, proudly inform you that Kerala have separate Department of Welfare of Women and Child, and also Kerala Women's Commission. We started 2 regional offices of Kerala Women's Commission at Calicut and Cochin. We think all of them knowing Kudumbashree mission in Kerala. Around 90 lakh women have joined the organization. Academics are coming to Kerala for study and implementing functions of Kudumbashree. And Kerala Women's Commission conducted several programs like seminar, Jagrita Samiti. We are associated with a local self-government. And we are conducting premarital course for newly couples, and Kalale Jyoti for students. Main program of Kerala Women's Commission face to face, that current issue basis programs is face to face. In Kerala Women's Commission have a politics. That politics is only women politics, not party politics. Kerala Women's Commission conducted Women Parliament at Calicut on March 8th, which is support of National Women's Commission. We can undertake more programs. We can assure you that you will be taking more programs with the support of National Women's Commission. We are hand over details of conducted programs and our recommendation to the National Women's Commission. എല്ലാവർക്കും കേരളത്തിന്റെ സ്നേഹാഭിവാദ്യങ്ങൾ.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मैम. मैं आप सभी को ये गुजारिश करूंगी कि आप में से कोई भी अगर अपने विचारधारा प्रस्तुत करना चाहे तो वो इस मंच पे आ सकते हैं और ज़रूर अपने विचारधारा प्रस्तुत कर सकते हैं. थैंक यू सो मच मैम फॉर सबमिटिंग दिस. वी विल श्योरली टेक अ कॉग्निजेंस ऑफ दिस. श्योर मैम, आप अपने विचारों को ज़रूर व्यक्त करें क्योंकि थोड़ी ही देर में हम वैलिडिक्टरी फंक्शन को स्टार्ट करेंगे.
प्रणाम. आज हम सब यहाँ, मेरे ख्याल से कईयों का आज लास्ट डे है ना. सब यहाँ उपस्थित थे, बहुत अच्छा लगा. लेकिन अपने अपने स्टेट कमीशन का बात करते हैं तो जहाँ तक हमारे यहाँ जो अध्यक्ष महोदय हैं उन्होंने 2 रूल फॉलो किया है. मेरे ख्याल से हर अध्यक्ष महोदय को देना चाहिए, क्योंकि अभी सबसे ज्वलंत मुद्दा है हमारे पास लिविंग वाला. लिविंग में जो आजकल रहते हैं वो जनरली क्या करते हैं, एक महिला को शादी कर लिए, उसका बच्चा हो गया, क्योंकि जेंट्स के पास कोई प्रूफ नहीं होता है कि वो शादीशुदा है. महिलाएं तो घूंघट में रहे, जीन्स में रहे, टॉप में रहे, यहाँ तक सिंदूर भर के चलती हैं, लेकिन जेंट्स नहीं भरते हैं. इसका फायदा हमारी टीनेजर लड़कियों को नुकसान होता है, नुकसान होता है. वो नहीं समझ पाती हैं कि कौन शादीशुदा है और कौन नहीं. वो बहकावे में आके शादी कर लेती हैं, फिर एक महिला हो के दूसरी महिला का घर उजाड़ने का काम करती हैं, समझिए. क्योंकि ऑलरेडी उस जेंट्स का शादी हो गया रहता है, उसके बाद उसको एक महिला से दूसरा अफेयर करता है, फिर शादी कर लेता है. हमारी अध्यक्ष महोदय ने तत्काल डिसीजन लिया कि ऐसी टाइप की जो भी महिला हैं, अगर वो कम पढ़ी लिखी हैं या कम एज की हैं तो उनको तत्काल नारी निकेतन भेजा जाता है, क्योंकि नारी निकेतन में भेजने से उनका माइंड वॉश होता है और वो तत्काल फिर सोचती है कि क्या मेरे से गलत हो रहा है, क्योंकि जो ऑलरेडी शादीशुदा है उसके तो बच्चे हैं, पर वो महिला जो शादी करके गई है वो 2 मंथ 3 मंथ है तो अपना भविष्य क्यों बिगाड़े। इसलिए मैं रिक्वेस्ट करती हूँ आप सभी से, ऐसा जनरली केस आता है तो आप लोगों से तत्काल उनको नारी निकेतन भेजिए ताकि एक महिला दूसरे महिला की घर ना उजाड़े। जय हिंद, जय छत्तीसगढ़।
Thank you so much, ma'am, for being brief. I'll request all of you to please give your feedback in not more than 2 or 3 minutes, since we have paucity of time. And after ma'am, I think let us set an order, since there are a few volunteers. So ma'am, after ma'am is done, you can go ahead, after which you can surely go ahead, ma'am. And I'll kindly request all of you for expressing your views. You would like to do it from there? No problem, ma'am. I'll request all of you to be brief. Thank you so much.
नमस्कार, मैं ज्योतिषा मिश्रा, उत्तराखंड राज्य महिला आयोग से। सबसे पहले तो मैं NCW और MIT का धन्यवाद देना चाहती हूँ कि उन्होंने हमें एक ऐसा सौभाग्य दिया कि हम इतने लर्नेड पर्सन्स के, इतने लोगों के हमने विचार सुने। कई लोगों के बीच में आकर के हम लोगों का एक नया उत्साह बनता है। मैं इसके लिए MIT और NCW का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देती हूँ। और यहाँ पर हमारी जितनी भी बहनें आई हुई हैं, यहाँ के जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं, आप सब लोगों के लिए मैं एक शुभकामनाएं देती हूँ कि इस कार्यक्रम से जो हम लोगों ने सीखा है, जो हम लोगों ने ज्ञान अर्जित किया है, उसको जाकर हम अपने क्षेत्र में उसको प्रयोग करें। मैडम, हम लोग इंटरनेशनल स्तर पर, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर महिलाओं ने हमारे बहुत मुकाम हासिल किए हैं। हमारी पहली प्रधानमंत्री इंदिरा गांधी, पहली राष्ट्रपति प्रतिभा पाटिल और गुड गवर्नेंस की मिसाल कायम की है। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर भी ये लोग एक पहचान बन के रहे हैं। मैं उत्तराखंड की बात करती हूँ। हमारी उत्तराखंड की पहली राज्यपाल बेबी रानी मौर्य और पहली डिप्टी स्पीकर श्रीमती रितु खंडूरी जी, ये दोनों लोग अपना एक अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं। एक अच्छा, इनको कौन नहीं पहचानता, सब लोग आज मेरे ख्याल से पहली डिप्टी स्पीकर के रूप में उनका नाम रोशन हुआ है। लेकिन हमारा जो SCW है, या जो हम लोगों का जो कार्य है, वो एक छोटी जो ग्रास रूट पे महिलाएं काम कर रही हैं, ग्रास रूट पे जो महिलाएं हैं, उन लोगों के लिए जो अपने जीने के लिए भी संघर्ष कर रही हैं और हमेशा अपने स्वाभिमान के लिए, सम्मान के लिए, मानव अधिकारों के लिए खड़ी रहती हैं और उसके लिए जूझ रही हैं। हम लोगों का काम उन लोगों के बेटरमेंट के लिए या उन लोगों की अच्छाई के लिए करना है। तो मैं अपने यहाँ पर इस मंच से यह निवेदन करती हूँ अपनी सभी बहनों का कि हम लोग जो महिलाओं को आर्थिक रूप से तो हम मजबूत करते हैं, लेकिन शैक्षिक रूप से और मानसिक रूप से हम उन लोगों को मजबूत नहीं कर पाते, क्योंकि जब तक महिला शिक्षित नहीं होगी, और अच्छी शिक्षा का अर्थ कक्षा बदलना नहीं है। आज हमारे, खास तौर से हम अपने उत्तराखंड की बात करते हैं, वहाँ की शिक्षा का स्तर सिर्फ कक्षा बदलना, क्लास चेंज करना यहाँ तक हो गया है। जब तक हम लोग अपने बच्चों को भली भांति शिक्षित नहीं करेंगे और उन्हें ज्ञान अर्जित नहीं कराएंगे, शिक्षा का अर्थ सिर्फ कक्षा चेंज करना नहीं, ज्ञान अर्जित कराना है। तो मैं ये चाहती हूँ कि हम लोगों का सबसे बड़ा, यद्यपि ये हमारे ग्रुप में नहीं, हमारे कार्य क्षेत्र में नहीं आता है, लेकिन फिर भी हम उन महिलाओं को शिक्षित कर सकते हैं कि आप अपने बच्चों को सिर्फ क्लास चेंज कराने तक ही सीमित ना रखें। आप अपने बच्चों को अच्छी पुस्तकें, अच्छी ज्ञान की पुस्तकें और अच्छा ज्ञान दें, ताकि वो भविष्य में आगे चल करके अपने आप को एक्सप्रेस कर सकें, अपने ज्ञान का काम कर सकें। सिर्फ किताबी ज्ञान जो हमारे क्लास चेंज करने के लिए, डिग्रीज लेने के लिए होता है, सिर्फ उतने तक ही सीमित ना रहे। और इस कारण से हमारी महिलाएं जो हैं, जो हमारा पुरुष पितरात्मक सत्ता है हमारे क्षेत्रों में, अभी भी ये है कि पुरुष जो है, पुरुष प्रधान क्षेत्र है। मेरे ख्याल से तो पूरा देश ही पुरुष प्रधान है, लेकिन हम लोगों के क्षेत्रों में बहुत अधिक पुरुष प्रधान क्षेत्र है। तो हाँ, ओके
Due to paucity of time,
समय की कमी के कारण मैं अपनी बात को यहीं पे समाप्त करती हूँ। और मैं आप लोगों से निवेदन करती हूँ कि हर महिला, हर लोग अपने बच्चों को और अपने विशेष तौर से स्त्रियों को एक अच्छी एजुकेशन और एक अच्छा वातावरण दे, व्यवहार सिखाएं, तभी हम लोग अपने देश में खुशहाली और महिलाओं की सुरक्षा की गारंटी ले सकते हैं। धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मैम। May I now kindly request my technical team to relay a short film on National Women's Parliament. May I kindly request my technical team to relay a short film on National Women's Parliament.
NWP aims to create a better and conducive environment for women empowerment and nation building. First National Women's Parliament was a 3-day national conclave held at Amaravati, Andhra Pradesh on 10th, 11th and 12th of February 2017. It was attended by nearly 12 motivated girl student leaders who had participated from across the nation to establish direct connect with the policymakers, leaders and other women of eminence and deliberated about grassroots challenges being faced by young women in India. The parliament was graced by more than 400 women members of legislative assemblies and nearly 90 women members of Parliament of India. Several eminent women from all walks of life interacted and deliberated with them. By a conscious deliberation between Shri Rahul V. Karar, founder and convener of Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad, the seed thought of National Women's Parliament was conceived. It was well supported and guided by Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Nara Chandrababu Naidu.
Will give a light to all the world about the women empowerment.
3 days of National Women's Parliament was thoughtfully divided in 5 different sessions with different topics to discuss. Along with the main function, a special event with the theme Run for Women Empowerment was organized from Swaraj Maidan, which was inaugurated by youth icon Ms. P.V. Sindhu. Young student leaders participated in the run with a lot of zeal and enthusiasm. A unique concept of Youth Connect to strengthen communication among the participants was also executed on first and second day of the Parliament. Participants exchanged their views and thoughts in a close group, increasing the bonding between them.
Thank you so much. We'll be starting the valedictory ceremony exactly at 1:30 as scheduled. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor and privilege to mention that we have collaborated with one of the most important statutory bodies of the country, which is National Commission for Women. And in a couple of minutes from now, actually, we'll be starting the valedictory ceremony. May I request the delegates, our participants, to give a huge round of applause for all our dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. Let us welcome our distinguished speakers for today, Dr. Narendra Jadhav ji, Srimati Swati Singh ji, Shri V.S. Sampath ji, Ms. Meeta Rajiv Lochan ji, and our Honorable Executive President, Shri Rahul V. Karar ji. Can we have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? I request all the dignitaries to gather for lighting the auspicious lamp. This is to kindle the faith in knowledge and empowerment. मैं सभी प्रतिनिधियों और गणमान्य व्यक्तियों से अनुरोधित करती हूँ कि वो दीप को प्रज्वलित करें. Can I request the girl volunteers to kindly come? 2 girl volunteers, 2 girl students, to please proceed from MIT School of Government. May I kindly request 2 female volunteers from MIT School of Government to kindly proceed.
मैं बहुत विनम्रता से आग्रह करता हूं विधि पलसापुरे का, जो हमारी 17वीं बैच की पार्टिसिपेंट हैं, वुमेन पार्टिसिपेंट हैं, विधि आप भी ज्वाइन करें. Thank you.
Dear dignitaries, we are now going to experience and witness a very special moment. We are now heading towards an important event in this ceremony, which is ringing the bell of women empowerment, Nari Kalyan Karini, on this auspicious occasion. May we give a huge round of applause for having this special event in the culmination of this valedictory ceremony, where we are ringing the bell of women empowerment, Nari Kalyan Karini. Thank you so much. Once again, good afternoon to one and all. I welcome all the delegates, dignitaries to this grand valedictory ceremony which has got manifested, and it is a ceremony of leadership development program at the World Peace Dome, a stimulating workshop for incumbents of National Commission for Women and State Commissions for Women, being organized by National Commission for Women in association with MIT World Peace University and MIT School of Government. I'm glad to mention that on 21st April, we experienced an August meeting of women leaders from all across the nation in our capacity building workshop. Session 1 of the workshop was on women in leadership, where Honorable Rekha Sharma ji, the chairperson of National Commission for Women, addressed the gathering. Session 2 was dedicated to looking beyond the conventional functions. On 22nd, the sessions 3rd and 4th revolve around the theme of life skills for women leaders. Session 5 highlighted the role of women in governance. Today, sessions 6th and 7th were on pertinent topics of legal procedures and media strategies, respectively. And now we are heading towards the valedictory session by the most eminent speakers of our country, India. This discussion will surely motivate all the women leaders to persevere and walk undeterred towards the path of success. Before we embark on this culmination, let us all get up, join hands, close eyes, and pray to the Almighty. I request my technical team to play the World Peace Prayer, a prayer that does not belong to any particular religion, race, creed. It is indeed a prayer to seek the divine blessings. May I kindly request my technical team to relay the World Peace Prayer.
Om Namo Dhyadya Pratipadya Jaya Jaya Swasamvedya Atmarupa Deva Tusi Ganeshu Sakalartha Mati Prakashu Mane Nivrittidasu Avadhari Bodhi गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Thank you so much for your wholehearted participation, dear delegates. Ladies and gentlemen, let us have the felicitation of the esteemed panel at the hands of Shri Rahul V. Karad, Managing Trustee, Myers and Executive President of MIT World Peace University and founder of MIT School of Government. We are really glad and honored to have such a distinguished panel. May I kindly request our Honorable Executive President Shri Rahul V. Karad to kindly do the honors. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge round of applause for Shri V.S. Sampath ji. Let us give a huge round of applause for Shri V.S. Sampath ji. Let us give a huge round of applause for Dr. Narendra Jadhav ji. May I request the gathering to please give a big hand for Dr. Narendra Jadhav ji. Let us give a huge round of applause for Srimati Swati Singh ji. Ladies and gentlemen, let us hear it for Srimati Swati Singh ji. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give a huge round of applause for Miss Meeta Rajiv Lochan ji. Please give a big hand for Miss Meeta Rajiv Lochan ji. Ladies and gentlemen, we are indeed honored to have gathered at this August gathering, and I would like to mention that it is a privilege to have collaborated with the most important statutory body, which is the National Commission of where we have the women leaders coming from different states of our country. So now we would like to felicitate all our women leaders. I would again request Honorable Shri Rahul V. Karad to kindly do the honors. We'll first felicitate Dr. Daisy Thakur ji from Himachal Pradesh. May I request ma'am to kindly proceed. We have Meeta Rajiv Lochan ji also doing the honors. Please give a huge round of applause for Dr. Daisy Thakur ji from Himachal Pradesh. Miss Renu Bhatia ji from Haryana. Let us give a huge round of applause to Miss Renu Bhatia ji from Haryana. Can we please give a huge round of applause to these women leaders coming from different states of our country? Can we have Ms. Boosi ji? Do we have Ms. Boosi ji? Ms. Boosi ji from Andhra Pradesh. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a huge round of applause for Ms. Boosi ji from Andhra Pradesh? Next, Ms. Jaya Lakshmi ji from Andhra Pradesh. After which we'll have the state of Assam, Srimati Hema Prabha Barkhurji, the chairperson, as well as Srimati Nilima Devi ji, the vice chairperson from the state of Assam. Next we have the state of Chhattisgarh, Srimati Archana Upadhyay ji, the member. Next we have the state of Karnataka, Ms. Pramila Naidu ji, the chairperson, as well as Ms. Shobha ji from the state of Karnataka. I would also request all those who have come along with them from the state of Karnataka to please join us for the felicitation ceremony. We also have Srimati Poromi Das ji from the state of Assam. Kindly join us. Next we have Mr. Dinkar Shetty ji from the state of Karnataka. After this we have the state of Kerala. May I request Ms. Thera ji, the member, Srimati E.M. Radha ji, the member, Ms. Shiji Shivaji ji, the member, as well as Srimati Shahida Kamal ji, the member, to kindly come ahead for the felicitation ceremony. Next, I request the members from state of Maharashtra to kindly proceed for the felicitation ceremony. All the members from state of Maharashtra to kindly proceed for the felicitation ceremony. After which we'll proceed towards the state of Manipur. Ms. Thumlip ji as well as Ms. Dayabati Devi ji, kindly proceed for the felicitation ceremony. Next we have the state of Meghalaya, Srimati Tai Ji, the chairperson, as well as Ms. Violet, the member from the state of Meghalaya. I would request you to kindly proceed for the felicitation ceremony. Next in row, we have the state of Odisha. May I kindly request Minati Behra ji, the chairperson, Snehanjali ji and Jalina ji from the state of Odisha to kindly proceed for the felicitation ceremony. The next state is the state of Tamil Nadu. We now have the state of Tamil Nadu. May I kindly request A.S. Kumari ji, the chairperson, and all the members accompanying her from the state of Tamil Nadu to kindly proceed for the felicitation ceremony. May I request the members from the state of Telangana to kindly proceed for the felicitation ceremony. The state of Telangana, K. Revati Rao ji, as well as all the members who have accompanied her from the state of Telangana to kindly proceed for the felicitation ceremony. May I now kindly request the members from the state of Tripura to proceed for the felicitation ceremony. The members from the state of Tripura, Barnali Goswami ji, the chairperson, and all the other members who have accompanied ma'am from the state of Tripura, I would request you to kindly proceed for the felicitation ceremony. After Tripura, may I kindly request the members from the state of West Bengal to kindly proceed for the felicitation ceremony. I'll request Srimati Sujata Prakashi Lahiri ji, the member, and all the other members who have accompanied ma'am from the state of West Bengal to kindly proceed for the felicitation ceremony. Can we please have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? The felicitation kits have been packed with our volunteers. I would request the delegates to kindly collect it from their LOs after the event. After the state of West Bengal, we have the state of Uttar Pradesh. May I kindly request Ms. Sushma Singh ji, the Vice Chairperson from the state of Uttar Pradesh, and all the other members who have accompanied her to kindly proceed for the felicitation ceremony. From the state of Uttar Pradesh, the Vice Chairpersons as well as the members, may I kindly request you to proceed for the felicitation ceremony. Ms. Sushma Singh ji, Ms. Anju Chaudhary ji, the Vice Chairperson from the state of Uttar Pradesh, a very senior member. Thank you so much, ma'am. Can we have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? I also request Madam Uma from Andhra Pradesh to kindly proceed for the felicitation ceremony. We finally have the state of Uttarakhand. May I kindly request Ms. Kusum Kandalwal ji, the chairperson, as well as the vice chairperson, Ms. Jyoti ji from the state of Uttarakhand to kindly proceed for the felicitation ceremony. I request the members who have been felicitated to kindly collect their kits, felicitation kits from their respective LOs after a while. We finally have the state of Uttarakhand. I request Ms. Nirmala Dikshit ji from the state of Uttar Pradesh to kindly proceed for the felicitation ceremony. So from the state of Uttar Pradesh, we have Miss Sushma Singh ji, Miss Anju Chaudhary ji, Miss Nirmala ji, Miss Archana ji, Miss Poonam Kapoor ji, Miss Ranjana ji, Dr. Kanchan Shukla ji, as well as Miss Prabha ji. Can we have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Dr. Kanchan Jaiswal ji, as well as Miss Uma ji from Andhra Pradesh, Dr. Kanchan Jaiswal ji from the state of Uttar Pradesh, and finally the state of Uttarakhand, Miss Kusum Khandelwal ji, as well as Miss Jyoti ji. The support that we have got from two members is something that we would like to specially acknowledge. May I kindly request Neha Joshi ji and Zena Chahal ji to kindly proceed for the felicitation ceremony. May I kindly request Neha Joshi ji and Zena Chahal ji to kindly proceed for the felicitation ceremony. They have been coordinating with us for this event all through the while. And I would request all our delegates, participants to give a huge round of applause. Please, my dear delegates, give a huge round of applause for all the members. Please give a huge round of applause for Neha Singh ji, Zena Chahal ji, as well as members and chairpersons from several state commissions of women. We have received an enthralling participation for this particular workshop where the National Commission of Women has conducted this in collaboration with MIT-WPU and MIT School of Government for more than 20 state commission women members. Let us hear it for all the women leaders. Dear participants, please give a huge round of applause for all the women leaders on and off the dais. And I would finally like to mention that the vision of the National Commission of Women is the Indian woman secure in her home and outside, fully empowered to access all her rights and entitlements with opportunity to contribute equally in all walks of life. We have just witnessed a concrete manifestation of women empowerment on this very platform. Let us finally hear it for all the women leaders who have participated in this workshop. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all the delegates. As we now proceed further towards the valedictory ceremony, dear delegates, we are honored to have amongst us a very distinguished panel. And now it is an honor and privilege to have the first distinguished speaker. It is none other than Shri Rahul Vikarad, the Managing Trustee and MIR's Executive President, MIT World Peace University, and founder of MIT School of Government, National Women's Parliament, and Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad. May I kindly request my technical team to play a short film on Shri Rahul Vikarad. Over to my technical team.
A good idea is 10% inspiration and 90% implementation. A reflection of this is the multifaceted Managing Trustee and Executive President, MIT World Peace University, Rahul Karad. Rahul Karad, a motivation for the youth, a perspective for the commoners, a guide for the dreamers. He has been a pioneer in many of the initiatives conducted by MIT-WPU. Rahul is a man with excellent vision and clear thought process in each and every issue, may it be student politics, justice, democracy, or history. A Harvard alumnus, he started his journey as Executive Director of MIT Pune in 2001. He single-mindedly focused on advancing the inherited vision and mission of his academician father, revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad, founder of the Myers MIT Group of Institutions, who initiated the new wave of education in engineering in the private sector through Myers MIT Pune, Bharat. Not only that, but he has also built the biggest dome in the world at Loni, Maharashtra to spread the message of peace and unity. Rahul has carried forward such a great legacy which resulted in a successful expansion of MIT Pune, Bharat.
I look at you as a leader in your own area. Please influence those number of other guys who have that sense of belongingness for the country, the mother India.
Rahul is known for his very
Thank you so much
deep-rooted
to the technical team. May I kindly request you, sir, to address the gathering.
Janani Janmabhumisha Swargadapi Gariyasi. Behalf of the bodies of trustees and our beloved founder, revered Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir, the man who created this very unique structure in the world for the world peace. Let me welcome the chief guest of today's program, Shri Narendra Jadhav Sahab. We have V.S. Sampath Sahab, Madam Swati Singh ji, and Meeta Raju Lochan ji. And our director here, Mr. Girisan, is also here, and all the respected chairmen and vice chairmen of all the National Commission, this very important, prestigious body of our country. I really feel honored today that in a very short notice, when just a month before or 20 days before, I was in Delhi, and when I requested Madam Rekha Sharma ji about hosting this important training workshop here at World Peace Dome, MIT World Peace University, very graciously he said, Rahul, Mr. Karad, I have seen some of your programs. She was there in Goa just 3 months before when there was one National Women's Parliament which we organized. मुझे पता नहीं मैडम मीता जी आप वहाँ पे थे कि नहीं, बट गोवा में बहुत अच्छा प्रोग्राम नेशनल वुमेंस पार्लियामेंट गोवा सरकार ने और वहाँ की महिला मंत्रालय ने सब ने मिलकर आयोजित किया था, और हमारा जैसे यहाँ पे छोटा सा कंट्रीब्यूशन है वैसे वहाँ पे भी कंट्रीब्यूशन था। तो वहाँ पे मेरा परिचय मैडम रेखा जी से हुआ, और उसके बाद ये आज योगा योग है। संपत साहब, a great veteran, the man, the former chief election commissioner of the country, a senior bureaucrat, a man of commitment, sincerity, honesty, what all I can say. This very idea of MIT School of Government, the first school of India to develop the future politicians, what we started with the help of Shri T. N. Seshanji in the year 2005. People laughed on us, how can there be a school which can educate the youngsters to get into public life? But I am very glad to tell you, my friends, and today Sampath Saab, because of you, I am little emotional again, because the one of the veteran Shri T. N. Seshan Saab supported long back, and you are also here today to bless this. Almost now 17 years have passed for this very journey of MIT School of Governments, and then through this very thought process, the Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad, National Women's Parliament, National Teachers Congress, Rashtriya Sarpanch Sansad, so various categories of our society, the sections of our society for that capacity building, all such huge platforms have taken the birth. And of course, today we are here at this very unique monument. What Swami Vivekananda said long back, the unification of science and spirituality alone can bring peace to the mankind. And that was a message of our founder, my father, Dr. Vishwanath Karad, in his lifetime. And 15 साल पहले उनकी उम्र 65 थी. At the age of 65, he envisaged कि I want to construct something like this. And after 15 long years, generally 50, 55, 60, यहाँ पे बहुत सारे आप सब लोग अधिकारी और डिसीजन मेकर्स हैं अपने अपने राज्यों में. तो 50, 55 के बाद हमें रिटायरमेंट की बात सूझती है, बाकी चीज़ों के बारे में हम थोड़ा सा मेंटली वीक हो जाते हैं जनरली, कॉमन आदमी की अगर बात हमने की. But not to praise my own father, but I do not look just as my father, but as one individual independent person, and his work is in front of your eyes. He laid this foundation, and in 15 years, at the age of 80, just 2 years before Venkaiah Naidu ji inaugurated this, the unique structure, there is a World Parliament of Science, Religion and Philosophy, which was hosted just 3 months before, not even 3 months, recently it was conducted, and before that also many such activities are happening here. And because of this very energy of all of you, I'm so glad that this historic program was conducted last 3 days. The inaugural program, I just little shared my mind. So I will just finish my talk in 2 minutes. Shri Narendra Jadhav Sahab wished to go quickly because he has some other engagements also. He said, Rahul, felicitations. मैं पहले बात कर सकता हूँ क्या? बोला सर मैं इमीडिएटली मेरा भाषण रैप अप करता हूँ, उसके बाद आप बात करिए. बट सर आपने हमेशा स्कूल ऑफ गवर्नमेंट, पॉलिटिकल लीडरशिप, गुड गवर्नेंस, इन सब चीज़ों को बढ़ावा दिया है, इस संस्था के काम को बढ़ावा दिया है. मुझे खुशी है कि आज नेशनल वुमेंस पार्लियामेंट के इस मंच के ऊपर भी आपका यहाँ पे आना हुआ. और जो एक डिस्कशन मेरे और रेखा शर्मा जी के बीच में हुआ था, वो आप सबके सामने मैं रखना चाहूँगा कि अलग अलग राज्यों में उनकी ये मनीषाएँ रही कि मिस्टर कराड, can we think of conducting such national women's parliament across the nation? And I said, if it has to be done, it has to be done with the various governments. It can't be done only with my institution. What I want to really do not want to take credit of National Women's Parliament. I want to communicate to you, there are some Andhra Pradesh members are here. The then Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Chandrababu Naidu ji, a visionary, committed such leader, because of his efforts, I must tell you, in Amravati, the first National Women's Parliament was conducted, and some editions, other 2, 3, 4 states, Kerala and other places we conducted. And now various Vidhan Sabha, various other governments are coming forward. But I can tell you this very engine of National Women Commission, if it joins to this complete mission, or if we join to National Women Commission, rather I will say vice versa, it can go a long way. 20,000 girls, what little film last 1 or 2 days you have seen, you just can't imagine how that program was 4 days, 3 days it was conducted. And I think country of our size, we need a massive impact. We need a scale to really, in this audience, मैडम ने मुझे बोला वहाँ पे मीता जी कि हमारी ये इंटरनल मीटिंग है, तो मैंने उनको विनती किया हमारे कुछ छात्र अगर यहाँ बैठेंगे, यहाँ पे हमारे गर्ल स्टूडेंट, तो उनको बेनिफिट होगा. उनको बहुत कल्पना अच्छी लगी. तो थैंक यू सो मच फॉर एक्सेप्टिंग आवर some ideas and lot of freedom you guys have given to my people here. Professor Girison and all the members have enjoyed. And once again, I want to tell you that if you people really take in your hand, this is very much possible that in every state, some 15, 20,000, 10,000 girls, we can sensitize in a very different manner in next 3, 4, 5 years down the line. And we can make a big national impact through this exercise of National Women's Parliament, under the aegis of National Women's Parliament, under the aegis of my institution, MIT School of Government, MIT-WPU University, and this very mission of World Peace Dome. So once again, I am thankful to each and every member. कुछ कमियां कल खाने में कुछ छोटी मोटी यहाँ पे रही, ऐसा मुझे पता चला, जैसा जनरली ऐसा होता नहीं है. People always relish and they carry because आदरणीय कराड सर हमेशा बोलते मातृदेवो भव, पितृदेवो भव, आचार्य देवो भव और अतिथि देवो भव. So he is very concerned. So मैं इनको बोला कि कहीं से भी गलती से भी उनके तक ये मैसेज मत जाने दीजिए, नहीं तो मुझे वो इस मामले में बहुत दुखी हो जाएंगे. बट आप सब लोगों का सहयोग रहा. मैं फिर से एक बार स्वागत अभिनंदन करके, स्वाति जी आपका भी अभिनंदन, इतने दूर से आप आए हैं आज इस विषय में, बाकी आपके कलीग्स को सबको यहाँ संबोधित करने के लिए. आपका जीवन का कार्यकाल मैंने टीवी के ऊपर भी देखा है, बाकी सोशल मीडिया के माध्यम से भी देखा है. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. आपके पूरे लाइफ जर्नी को एक बहुत अच्छा काम आपके हाथ से होगा, ये आशा व्यक्त करता हूँ. आप सभी लोगों को स्वागत अभिनंदन. एंड आई विल सी यू सून एंड दिस इज़ योर place. Whenever you next time come to Pune, please be a part of this very journey of World Peace Mission. And without your support, it can't be just, I always say, just 30 seconds I will say that women empowerment, मैं भी women empowerment की बात बोलता हूँ, but कहीं ना कहीं अंदर से मर्द जाग उठता है. तो मैं मेरे वाइफ से भी बात करता हूँ, एक 300 बेड का हॉस्पिटल वो यहाँ पे चलाती है. बट शायद आने वाली पीढ़ियाँ, मेरे बच्चे या उनके भी बच्चे, और भी बेहतर इस विषय में सोचेंगे, ऐसा मुझे लगता है ऐसे सब एक्सरसाइज के माध्यम से और आपके सबके एफर्ट से. धन्यवाद. जय हिंद.
बहुत धन्यवाद सर. आपके इस प्रेरणादायी स्तोत्र ने हमें बहुत ही ज़्यादा मोटिवेट किया है. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर योर वर्ड्स ऑफ सपोर्ट एंड एनकरेजमेंट. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to introduce the next distinguished speaker for today, Miss Meeta Rajiv Lochan ji, who is an IAS officer of the Maharashtra cadre. Currently, she is Member Secretary, National Commission for Women, Government of India. Her role concerns facilitation of institutional mechanisms to provide support to women in distress and to work for the cause of women empowerment. She also helped coordinate training programs for women entrepreneurs in collaboration with IIM Bangalore. Madam has also discharged senior management responsibilities in many positions in the past 30 years. In her previous charge, she served as an Additional Director General, Foreign Trade Department of Commerce and Government of India. May I kindly request you to address the gathering, ma'am. We are honored and privileged to have you amongst us today. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Dignitaries on the dais, friends, I congratulate the MIT School of Government, Rahulji Karad and his team for organizing such a wonderful program. I am indeed impressed by the skills of his team members, and we are very happy to collaborate with them on this and future initiatives. Friends, it's a very apt moment. For the first time since 1947, in India today we have more women than there are men. That is what the latest data shows, and it is indeed a historic moment. India has been a colony of the English for over 150 years, and that has created lots of stresses in Indian society. And one of the principal features of societies that are under stress is that they tend to produce more men than women. So if today we have more women than men in India, it is indeed historic, and it shows that finally India is emerging out of the dark night of colonialism and India is coming into its own again. Indian women are in the forefront of this change, and we see it all across whatever parameters we choose. In 2019 Lok Sabha election, it was for the first time that women voters in the electorate outnumbered male voters. Whatever you look at, in 2018 onwards, young women have outnumbered men in enrolling for higher education. So there is a great hunger for knowledge, there is a great hunger for participation in public spaces. Today, against a minimum mandate of 33%, 43% members of Panchayati Raj institutions in India are women. So women are hungry, women are visible, and it is fit that the state commissions for women and the national commissions of women should be part of the change, and that they should lead it to see that these changes become irreversible. Friends, India is well on the road to being a superpower, and no doubt we will get there. But also, in order to be a balanced, a happy and a prosperous society, it is very important that we shed the baggage of colonial ideas which have haunted us for 200 years. These are ideas that have very little connection with ground reality. They have very little connection with our lived experience. There is the idea that India is not a nation, that it was actually the English who put together India. That's rubbish. There's the idea that Indian women have always been oppressed and exploited, and they continue to be oppressed and exploited today. That is not true. If it were true, then today 43% women would not be members of Panchayati Raj institutions. They would not be visible. There are 1.23 crore enterprises in India. That's 12 million enterprises in India that are led by women. So we have to acknowledge all this, and we have to get rid of this baggage. The most important obstacle to India's journey to be a superpower is not really money. It was never money. It is this slavish aping of everything that is in the West. It is this slavish idea that all good comes from the West, that we only have to reproduce the West, and Indians can only be a pale copy of that. This is what is holding us back. If you look at all these ideas, that India is not a nation, that India is a very oppressed, poor, exploited society, these are produced by 200 years of colonialism. These are produced by Western academics. Mind you, when Western academics come to study India, They are not interested in India. Their starting journey is their own nation. They are interested in the problems of their societies. They are only studying India to the extent that India is a foil for their own societies. So when they are talking about oppression, they are talking about their own society. Mind you, I am not saying that everything is hunky-dory in India. I am not saying that we are living in paradise. By no means. India has problems. But in order to solve those problems, we must look at our own problems, understand them, and we must create our own solutions. We cannot go around saying that all knowledge is manufactured in the West. Just a few days ago, I was a member of a panel discussion around the International Women's Day, and there was this faculty member from the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, and she told me with supreme confidence that, madam, you know, during the COVID lockdown, there was a huge increase in domestic violence in India. And I asked her, madam, do you have any data in support of this particular statement? She said, but madam, it has been observed in America, it has been observed in Europe, it has been observed across the world. So no, I don't have any data to answer your question, but I know in my heart that Indian women are oppressed. I know in my heart that there was an increase in domestic violence. But friends, tell me, if we know everything in advance, if we know that there is so much violence, well then why do we need universities? Why do we need any research studies? Why do we need any studies at all? All knowledge is foregone, all knowledge is already understood. So yes, no doubt there are issues with Indian women, but we have also made huge strides. And in order to move forward, we need to ditch this colonial baggage. We need to understand our own problems and find our own solutions. And yes, we have made a lot of progress. If we look at the journey, the National Commission for Women was set up in 1990. And in the past 30 years, we have been able to set up an equitable legal framework for women throughout the country. All of you are partners in this journey. There was this lady in the last session who told all of you that, you know, commissions, they are just political stamps. They don't do anything. That is not true. All of you have been part of this journey. All of you are empowered women. If any change is to come, it is to come from us. It is to come from self-confidence, and it is to come from self-reliance. You know, we always believe that money is a problem. No. It is what is in our minds, how we look at ourselves, that is the problem. 2 years ago, I wrote a book called Making India Great Again, Learning from Our History. And in that book, we have documented that in 1750s, when the English East India Company comes to India, their total paid up capital was 3 million pounds. At the then exchange rate, that amounts to 2.5 crore rupees. In India of those times, there were merchants with 4 times that wealth in all the major cities of the country. We had superior technology to them. After that, if having more money, after having more technology, if we were beaten by a puny merchant company, that was because we did not have a culture of knowledge. Let's learn from our history. We have had such brave women in our history. Ahilyabai Holkar, so many. We are standing in Maharashtra. We have so many ladies who have been in the forefront of major reform movements. Whether you look at anyone, Ramabai Ambedkar, so many of them. So we have to look to the examples which are provided by our own past. We have to learn from those examples, and we have to build on that basis. Countries who have shame in their past, they are not countries that go forward. We have to move forward towards an Atmanirbhar Bharat, and Indian women are in the forefront of that movement. And I look forward to a future where all the various commissions of women, the various bodies, constitutional institutions of knowledge, they join together to take India forward on this journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much for a very scintillating speech, ma'am. And I would like to request my technical team to kindly relay a short film on our next distinguished speaker, Honorable Dr. Narendra Jadhav ji. Over to my technical team.
Dr. Narendra Damodar Jadhav is an economist, educationist, public policy expert, professor, parliamentarian, and writer in English, Marathi, and Hindi. He completed his BSc in Statistics from Ruia College, University of Mumbai, in 1973 and MA in Economics from the University of Mumbai in 1975. He later earned a PhD in Economics from Indiana University, USA in 1986. He was Vice Chancellor of Savitribai Phule Pune University. He also worked as an advisor in the International Monetary Fund for over 4 years. He retired in October 2008 from the position of Principal Advisor and Chief Economist of the RBI. His writings on economics include Ambedkar, an economist extraordinaire in 2016, Monetary Policy, Financial Stability and Central Banking in India in 2006, Reimagining India, A Global Perspective in 2005, and Monetary Economics for India in 1994. Dr. Jadhav is a recipient of several national and international awards, including 4 honorary DELETE degrees and the title Commander of the Order of Academic Palms by the Government of France. In 2016, he was nominated to the Rajya Sabha, the upper house parliament, by the President of India for 6-year term. We warmly welcome Honorable Dr. Narendra Damodar Jadhav.
It is indeed a great fortune, ladies and gentlemen, to have him amongst us. May I kindly request you to address the gathering. Over to Dr. Narendra Jadhav, sir, Honorable Member of Parliament, Rajya Sabha and former Member, Planning Commission of India. Please give a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, ladies and few gentlemen. Well, friends, Rahul Karad ji, Shri V.S. Sampath ji, Srimati Swati Singh, Ms. Meena, Rajiv Lochan, Dr. K. Girisan, and my young friends. It's indeed a great pleasure as well as an honor to be here. And at the very outset, I would like to congratulate the organizers for having taken initiative in organizing this unique event, a 3-day seminar, a 3-day leadership development program. So I want to congratulate Dr. Vishwanath Karad, Shri Rahul Karad, who is the Executive President of the MIT World Peace University, and all the brilliant team of organizers of the MIT World Peace University, who have organized this unique event of leadership development program for as a workshop for incumbents of National Commission for Women and State Commissions for Women. And I'm really very fascinated by the efforts which are being put together to create a national impact uniting women together. This afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to share few thoughts, random thoughts, not very structured thoughts on women empowerment. I'm going to make a reference to Srimati Swati Singh, who made very interesting references to various facts, various positives about women being more in number of voters than men, also having 43% of the Panchayat Raj institutions having women representatives, and also 12 million plus entrepreneurs about women. These are all very positive things, and they are creating a hope for the future. But one has to take a more realistic view. Without undermining the positives, we must acknowledge the kind of glaring issues, the problems that continue to persist. And I'm going to talk about some of them today. First of all, women, it is clear that women are not only successful doctors and engineers and teachers, but they have entered now defense, paramilitary forces, cab drivers, security guards, even fighter pilots. This is wonderful. However, women are still underrepresented and far removed from the decision making levels, and this has got to change. Despite legislations, dowry deaths, rapes and kidnappings continue. Female feticide is prevalent even among educated and affluent families. The percentage of women getting married at the age of 18 is unbelievably large. It is 47%, and this is what the data clearly shows. Now, child marriage can violate children's rights and place them at a high risk of abuse. Around 1 in 4 married girls and women between the age of 15 and 19, they have suffered from physical abuse at the hands of their husbands. Girls' right to health is also similarly affected. Young brides are more likely to be young mothers and experience serious health complications during pregnancy and childbirth, leading to high maternal mortality. There is this issue of problematic mindset. Girls are given education. Now we see at all levels the GER, the gross enrollment ratio of females is larger, especially at the primary, secondary and tertiary level. It is growing very fast. Girls are given education, but they are still raised in many families with the mindset that education is simply a stepping stone to get a good husband instead of a career. Their education is not always taken with seriousness that it deserves. Then the next point that I want to make is that various professions and industries remain male dominated. She talked about 12 million, Mrs. Swati Singh talked about 12 million entrepreneurs among women. But that is a small proportion of the total number of entrepreneurs. Various professions and industries such as journalism completely remain male dominated. Men speak to men, thus women lose out on the scoops and stories. A woman's success in her career remains stunted. Well friends, gender bias is there in hiring, in personal questions about marriage and maternity, harassment during the work, pay disparity, returning to the workforce post-childbirth, safety while working with high-risk areas. All these are live issues which we need to face. And then there is a continued lack of women in positions of power. From corporate boardrooms to the courts and political leadership around the world, the lack of women in senior positions continues to stymie progress on issues from pay gap to discrimination at all its forms. Women are held to higher standard but not considered competent leaders and are taken seriously only when a man is there to back the lady up. This is not fair and this has got to change. Then, then the other thing that I wanted to say is this, that as far as in terms of representation to Parliament, let's take the case of Parliament where I belong. In terms of representation of women to the Parliament, out of 190 countries, India ranks 145th. That is not something to be proud of. Only 12% of women are holding office. The global average of women in Parliament stands at 22.4%. And that includes all the developing countries as well. So when the world average is 22.4, India having only 12% of women holding office is certainly not something that we can be proud about. Then women still face the challenge of equal pay for equal work. recent studies show that only 5% of women in India make it to senior leadership positions in the corporate sector compared to the global average of little more than 20%. So only 5% women can really reach the top of the ladder as far as the corporate sector is concerned. While we have in our country collectors, MPs, chief executives, there is still domestic violence and harassment over women in villages and even in other civilized societies. Well, friends, the male gaze is another major concern that is deeply entrenched in the media. The portrayal of women in cinema, in advertisements, on radio and other platforms reeks of misogyny. Misogyny is hatred for women and gender bias. The role of media must evolve, propagating a fair representation of people's lives and not assume a position of arbitrary power and authority so as to dictate the way of living. That in turn would perpetuate hegemonic masculinity which must be questioned and challenged. Commodification and objectification of women in the media are comparable to what patriarchy demands of women, and if a woman raises her voice and resists, she is immediately vilified and castigated for being transgressive. Language used to report crime against women, that's another issue. The language we choose can make a huge difference on how we think about male violence against women. There is a need to turn the spotlight on the perpetrator and hold the abuser responsible. Unfortunately, crime against women still get written in news in a language that paints them as a sorry figure, wrong place in the wrong time, instead of targeting the criminal as they should. When the matter of female sexuality is discussed and adjudicated upon, women are seldom seen as having agency of their own. If a menstruating woman enters a temple or a married woman denies her husband consent to have sex, their defiance becomes not a question to be debated under equality laws, but as social questions, and are finally adjudicated upon not as a question of basic rights as a citizen, but as a part of certain social structure. When it comes to ticket distribution, as far as the elections are concerned, we have an election commissioner sitting here. When it comes to ticket distribution for women, even those with a record of winning elections must remain at the mercy of the party bosses who are typically male. The usual approach taken by the Indian men in authority towards working women remains protectionist at the best and severely critical at worst. According to a recent survey by an organization called Pew Research Center in US, more than half of Indians believe that men have a greater right to available jobs than women. Then think about the gender pay gap. According to the latest World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap Report 2018, India ranked 108th out of 149 countries as far as the gender gap index is concerned. In India, gender pay gap is very wide. The Monster Salary Index published in 2019 shows that women in the country earn 19% less than men. The survey revealed that the median, that is the average gross hourly salary for men in India, is 242, while for women it is 196 rupees, which means that there is a gap of 46 rupees per hour in terms of what the women get as compensation. The gender gap that spans across the industry, IT services show a sharp gender gap of 26%, while even in manufacturing sector, the pay gap among the gender is as high as 24%. And there is a gender bias in technology as well. For paucity of time, I'm not going to go over that. But in every walk of life, we really have very many miles to go. While the women entrepreneurs are, recently, one of my friends, Amitabh Kant, who is the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of the Niti Aayog, he said that women entrepreneurs have an edge over male entrepreneurs. And he gave very interesting reason. He insisted that he focused on this fact, this is a fact which is going to radically change the country's future and its approach to creating economic value. I'm quoting him. He said, women will outperform for several valid reasons. Women leaders in India have a better feel of the household spending patterns. They understand consumer perspective better. They have a way of building trust with customers and shareholders. And also there is a level of diversity when women occupy top positions. This is the potential that women have, and I think we have made a great beginning today by convening the National Commission for Women at the central level and at the state governments, everybody, all the leaders together. This is embarking on a mission which will empower women and by implications empower the entire country. And I once again congratulate my friend Rahul Karad and his team, as well as the National Commission for Women, for having taken this great initiative. And I certainly look forward to a national impact being created by this institution, which is being created, this organization, this kind of leadership development programs which are being created. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words of wisdom. And dear delegates, it is indeed our privilege to have a very distinguished speaker amongst us. May I kindly request my technical team to relay a short film on Honorable Srimati Swati Singh Ji, former Minister of State with an independent charge, Women's Welfare, Child Development and Nutrition, MOS, Government of Uttar Pradesh. May I request my technical team to relay a short film?
Srimati Swati Singh had served as Minister of State for Women's Welfare, Child Development and Nutrition in the Uttar Pradesh government. Born in a humble family in Bokaro, Jharkhand in 1978, Srimati Singh completed her MMS in 2001 from the University of Allahabad and LLM in 2007 from the University of Lucknow. Srimati Swati Singh has rich organizational experience and has proactively contributed to public life through her work. Her political career began in 2017 when she got elected as a member of Legislative Assembly of Uttar Pradesh from Sarojini Nagar constituency in Lucknow as a Bharatiya Janata Party candidate and bagged a phenomenal 1,08,506 votes. In her very first stint as an MLA, Srimati Singh was inducted in Yogi Adityanath cabinet with an independent charge. Srimati Singh has also undertaken various initiatives during her brief stint as Minister for NRIs, Flood Control, Agricultural Marketing and Export, Women Welfare and Child Welfare. From October 2016 to February 2018, she also served as President of Uttar Pradesh BJP Mahila Morcha. We warmly welcome Srimati Swati Singh.
We are indeed honored to have you, madam. May I kindly request you to address the gathering?
Thank you so much. आज नेशनल विमेन कमीशन के माध्यम से और MIT के माध्यम से, दोनों के कोलैबोरेशन से पिछले 3 दिन से जिस सेमिनार का आयोजन हो रहा है, आज उसके वैलिडिक्टरी सेशन में मंच पर उपस्थित डॉक्टर के गिरिसन जी, डायरेक्टर MIT स्कूल ऑफ गवर्नमेंट, मिस मीता राजीव लोचन जी, मेंबर सेक्रेटरी NCW, श्री राहुल V कराड़ जी, मैनेजिंग ट्रस्टी MIT वर्ल्ड पीस यूनिवर्सिटी, डॉक्टर नरेंद्र जाधव जी जो अभी जिनका उद्बोधन हम लोग सुन रहे थे, प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर विश्वनाथ D कराड़ जी, श्री VS संपत जी, फॉर्मर चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर ऑफ इंडिया, यहाँ पर सामने सभागार में उपस्थित सभी प्रदेशों से आई हुई महिला आयोग की सदस्य, MIT की पूरे यहाँ पर जो भी फैकल्टी मेंबर्स उपस्थित हैं, वो पूरे MIT की टीम और स्टूडेंट्स, आप सबका मैं इस कार्यक्रम में हार्दिक अभिनंदन एवं स्वागत करती हूँ। विमेन एम्पावरमेंट के विषय में कुछ भी बोलने से पहले और महिला नेतृत्व के विषय में या उसके कौशल के विषय में कुछ भी बोलने से पहले कुछ ऐसी सूक्ष्म चुनौतियां हैं जिन विषयों पर मैं ज़रूर यहाँ पर आप लोगों के मध्य रखना चाहूँगी, आपसे कुछ सवाल पूछना चाहूँगी और ये भी आग्रह करूँगी कि भविष्य में उस सवाल का जवाब आप ज़रूर खोज कर ले आइए। जब मैं सूक्ष्म चुनौतियों की बात कर रही हूँ तो पहले बिंदु पर हम चलते हैं जहाँ पर संस्कारगत दबाव के माध्यम से हम जो पालन पोषण करते हैं। संस्कारगत दबाव का मतलब है जो हमारे संस्कारों में आ गया है, इनबिल्ट हो गया है हमारे अंदर, हम समझ ही नहीं पा रहे हैं और इन चीज़ों को अनइंटेंशनली हम करते जा रहे हैं। मुझे खेलने का अधिकार है, मुझे पढ़ने का अधिकार है, मुझे बोलने का अधिकार है, लेकिन जब मैं बात खेलने की कर रही हूँ, जब मैं इस विषय को उठा रही हूँ, इस विषय पर बात कर रही हूँ, मुझे खेलने का अधिकार है, तो आप जरा सोच कर देखिए कि जब हमारे समाज में एक बच्चे का जन्म होता है, ये भूल जाइए वो बेटी के रूप में जन्म हुआ है उस बच्चे का या एक बेटे के रूप में हुआ है, लेकिन जब एक बच्चे का जन्म होता है, जब वो धीरे धीरे बड़ा होने लगता है और जब खेलने की बात आती है तो हम शुरू से उसके अंदर ये संस्कार डालने लगते हैं कि तुम लड़की हो, तुम ये नहीं खेल सकती हो, और तुम लड़के हो, तुम खेल सकते हो। जब कोई लड़की गिल्ली डंडा खेले, गिल्ली डंडा कितने लोग जानते हैं? शायद साउथ के लोग नहीं जानते होंगे। एक बड़ा डंडा होता है, उससे छोटे से इतनी छोटी सी कैसा बताएं, वो उसको मार के खेलते हैं। जब कंचे खेलने की बात आती है तो उसे लड़के खेल सकते हैं, लड़कियां नहीं खेल सकती हैं। और जब हम अपने बेटों के हाथ में कोई खिलौना पकड़ाते हैं तो वो बैट बॉल पकड़ाते हैं, और बेटी के हाथ में पकड़ाते हैं तो डॉल पकड़ाते हैं। ये अनइंटेंशनल है। हम इस बात को समझ ही नहीं पा रहे हैं कि जिस बच्चे में सोचने समझने की शक्ति भी नहीं है, जो ये अपने आप को इस विषय में शायद कभी सोच नहीं सकता है कि मैं बेटा हूं या बेटी हूं, उसी समय हम उसके मन में, उसकी आत्मा में इस बीज को बो देते हैं कि तुम बेटी हो, तुम ये नहीं कर सकती हो, तुम्हारे काम अलग हैं, तुम्हें खेलना अलग है। ये बहुत बड़ा विषय है। हम किस महिला सशक्तिकरण की बात करते हैं? जब जन्म से ही हम इस डिस्क्रिमिनेशन को लेकर चल रहे हैं तो कौन सा महिला सशक्तिकरण होगा? कहाँ से विमेन एम्पावरमेंट हम लेकर आएंगे? एक नया और मैंने ट्रेंड देखा है, और शायद मैं भी करती हूँ, लेकिन अब मैंने छोड़ दिया। जब उस पर विचार मैंने किया कि जब किसी बच्चे का जन्म होता है, किसी के घर में बेटा पैदा होता है तो हम ब्लू कलर के कपड़े ले जाते हैं, सही बोल रही हूँ, और बेटी होती है तो पिंक कलर के कपड़े ले जाते हैं। अनइंटेंशनली आप डिस्क्रिमिनेशन को जन्म दे रहे हैं, अनइंटेंशनली। प्लीज इसको छोड़ दीजिए, प्लीज लीव ऑल दिस थिंग्स। क्योंकि हम पिंक दे करके ये उसको बनाना चाहते हैं कि तुम सोफिस्टिकेटेड हो, तुम मजबूत काम नहीं कर सकते हो, तुम ऐसे मजबूत निर्णय नहीं ले सकते हो, और एक व्यक्ति को हम मजबूर कर देते हैं कि तुम महिला हो और महिला के आधार पर सोचो। दूसरा बिंदु, मुझे पढ़ने का अधिकार है। आप जरा सोच कर देखिएगा, मैं अपने देश में, अपने प्रदेश में, जब समाज की बात मैं करूंगी, आप फैमिलीज में देखिए, अगर कहीं पर थोड़ी सी भी फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस है, अगर पैसे की कुछ कमी है, तो बेटी पढ़ने में अगर तेज भी है तो उसे हम कहते हैं तुम घर बैठो, और बेटों को हम स्कूल भेजते हैं, क्योंकि हमें ये लगता है कि बेटों का पढ़ना ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है बेटियों के कंपैरिजन में। तो हमारी बेटियों का प्रतिनिधित्व कैसे होगा किसी भी क्षेत्र में? मीडिया वाले बहुत सवाल करते हैं, खासकर राजनीति को लेकर सवाल करते हैं कि राजनीति में महिलाओं का और बहुत कम प्रतिनिधित्व है। मैं ये पूछना चाहती हूं मीडिया के बंधु से कि मीडिया में कितना प्रतिनिधित्व है आधी आबादी का, उसका जवाब दे दीजिए। और अब तीसरे बिंदु पर चलते हैं, मुझे बोलने का अधिकार है। बोलने का अधिकार तो हमें संविधान ने भी दिया है, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं हम अपनी बेटियों को खुलकर बोलने से वंचित कर देते हैं। और आप अपने आसपास इन चीज़ों को देख सकते हैं। अगर हमारी अपनी बेटी घर में आती है और वो कहती है कि मेरे साथ कोई स्टॉकिंग कर रहा था, कोई मोलेस्टेशन हुआ है, तो हम उसे कहते हैं बोलना मत बाहर, नहीं तो बदनामी होगी। हम उसे वहीं शांत कर देते हैं और घर में ही हम उसके बोलने के अधिकार को खत्म कर देते हैं। तो किस समाज की हम परिकल्पना कर रहे हैं? लेकिन फिर भी मैं इस बात को कहूंगी कि वो व्यक्ति जो इस छन्नी से छन कर अगर उभर कर बाहर आता है, तो वो ऐसी महिला बनती है जिसके अंदर नेतृत्व क्षमता होती है, वो ऐसी महिला बनती है जिसके अंदर निर्णय लेने की क्षमता होती है। लेकिन वो अपने पीछे ऐसे बहुत बड़े समुदाय को, ऐसे बहुत सारे बच्चियों को, ऐसे बहुत सारे महिलाओं को, या महिला और बच्ची करके नहीं संबोधित करना चाहिए, ऐसे बहुत सारे व्यक्ति को पीछे छोड़ आती है जो सप्रेस हो गए हैं कहीं हमारे इन विचारों की वजह से। अब मैं अगले चुनौती की तरफ चलूंगी कि क्या हमारे विचारों में जो नैसर्गिक समानता है, जो प्रकृति ने समानता दी हमें, क्या वो हमारे भाव में है? क्या वो हमारी सोच में है? वो सोच में नहीं है। और निश्चित रूप से सरकार ने समय समय पर कानून सरकार बनाती है ताकि जो आधी आबादी है, जो हमारे देश की महिलाएं हैं, जो हमारे प्रदेश की जो बच्चियां हैं, महिलाएं हैं, उनको सबल बनाया जाए, उनको सशक्त बनाया जाए। इसलिए चाहे प्रदेश सरकार हो, चाहे केंद्र सरकार हो, समय समय पर हमें सुरक्षित करने के लिए, हमें मजबूत करने के लिए, हमें सशक्त बनाने के लिए कानून का निर्माण करती है, कानून को इंप्लीमेंट करती है। साथ ही साथ हमें संविधान में भी सारे अधिकार दिए गए हैं, सारे राइट्स और ड्यूटीज बराबर हैं किसी महिला और पुरुष के लिए। लेकिन हम अपने घर में उन चीज़ों को कितना अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, उन चीज़ों की कितनी उपयोगिता हो रही है, उन बातों की कितनी उपयोगिता हो रही है, हमें इस ओर भी ध्यान आकर्षित करना चाहिए। और मैं यहाँ एक सवाल आपके लिए छोड़कर जा रही हूँ कि क्या संवैधानिक कानून के उपचार के माध्यम से हम किसी व्यक्ति विशेष या किसी भी व्यक्ति के भाव में नैसर्गिक समानता, जो प्राकृतिक रूप से जो एक समानता जो ईश्वर ने हमको दी है, क्या हम ला सकते हैं? क्या कितने भी कानून बन जाए, कानून तो बने हैं, अभी डाउरी की बात इस मंच से हो रही थी, अभी विमेन पार्टिसिपेशन, कितने विमेन पार्टिसिपेट कर रही हैं, कितने इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट हैं, वो भी इस मंच से बात, उस विषय पर भी बात हुई है। लेकिन जब हम परसेंटेज देखेंगे महिलाओं की सहभागिता और पुरुषों की सहभागिता, तो परसेंटेज बहुत कम होगा आधी आबादी का। वो इसलिए कि संविधान ने चाहे हमें जो भी अधिकार दे दिए हों, वो इसलिए कि सरकार हमारे लिए चाहे जो भी कानून बना दे, हमारे विचारों को बदलने की आवश्यकता है। जब तक हम विचार नहीं बदलेंगे, हम जब तक अपनी सोच को नहीं बदलेंगे, जब तक हम अपने भाव को नहीं बदलेंगे, तब तक किसी भी बदले हुए स्वरूप की आप कल्पना नहीं कर सकते हैं अपने समाज में, कभी नहीं कर सकते हैं। आज मुझसे किसी ने पूछा कि आपको कहाँ लगता है इसी कैंपस में, कि आपको ऐसा कहाँ लगता है जहाँ पर कि बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम्स, किस फील्ड में महिलाओं को सबसे ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम फेस करनी पड़ती है? मैंने कहा हर फील्ड में। मैंने कहा ये चर्चा उठती है कि राजनीति में महिलाओं को ज़्यादा समस्याओं का सामना करना पड़ता है। मैंने यूनिवर्सिटी में भी पढ़ाया है, मैंने कॉरपोरेट सेक्टर में भी काम किया है, और आज वर्तमान में मैं राजनीति में भी हूँ। कोई भी ऐसा क्षेत्र नहीं है जहाँ पर टाइम अप हो गया क्या? अभी आई एम हैविंग द पॉइंट, सो आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू, आई जस्ट वांट टू continue because I am having I need some few more minutes.
Sure ma'am, please.
ये ऐसे बिंदु नहीं है, ऐसे विषय नहीं है जिनको कि समय में बांधा जाए, और मैं समय में बंध कर बोलना भी नहीं चाहती हूँ, क्योंकि ये इतने इम्पॉर्टेंट इश्यूज हैं। ये शोध का विषय है, इसमें कोई ये कहना चाहिए कि अगर हम उसमें कोई बहस करें, ये बहस का विषय नहीं है, ये शोध का विषय है, ये रिसर्च का विषय है। मैं बड़े बड़े इंस्टीट्यूट्स में जाती हूँ और वहाँ पर जब बच्चियाँ मुझसे ये कहती हैं कि मैं बहुत आउटस्पोकन हूँ, मैं जब अपने काम के लिए बाहर जाती हूँ, मैं अपने क्लास में भी जब ज़्यादा लड़कों से बात करती हूँ किसी विषय पर, तो मेरे कैरेक्टर पर उंगलियाँ उठा दी जाती हैं। और जब मैं इस विषय पर बात कर रही हूँ तो सिर्फ आपके पुणे या महाराष्ट्र या ऐसे डेवलप्ड सिटीज़ के बारे में बात नहीं कर रही हूँ, मैं पूरे देश के बारे में बात कर रही हूँ, हर प्रदेश के बारे में बात कर रही हूँ कि मेजॉरिटी क्या है। मेजॉरिटी ये है कि वाकई में आज आधी आबादी को, हमारी बच्चियों को, हमारे घर की महिलाओं को इन चीज़ों को फेस करना पड़ रहा है। इसलिए इस पर आप रिसर्च करिए। मैं महिला आयोग से ये आग्रह करूंगी, यहाँ पर सभी प्रदेश के मेंबर्स हैं, मैं महिला आयोग से ये आग्रह करूंगी कि समस्या की जड़ कहाँ है वहाँ जाइए और उसे दूर करने की कोशिश करिए। पॉलिसीज गवर्नमेंट बना रही है, लेकिन हम अपने विचारों को जब तक नहीं बदलेंगे, हमारा समाज, हमारी सोच कभी नहीं बदल सकती है। आप अपने घर में देख लीजिए, जब हमारे बच्चे बड़े होते हैं तो हम उसको कितना डिस्क्रिमिनेशन करना सिखाते हैं। माँ के साथ अलग व्यवहार करो, पत्नी के साथ अलग व्यवहार करो, बहन के साथ अलग व्यवहार करो। क्यों नहीं समझाते हैं कि महिला है, महिलाओं के साथ आपका जो एटीट्यूड होना चाहिए, जो आपकी सोच होनी चाहिए, वो एक ही तरह की होनी चाहिए। जिस दिन हम ये विचार हम अपने बच्चों में ला देंगे, बेटा हो या बेटी, उस दिन हमारे समाज से कुरीतियां दूर हो जाएंगी। उन कुरीतियों को दूर करने के लिए ये आवश्यक है। अब अगले बिंदु पर चलूंगी, जहां राजनीति में महिलाओं की कितनी सहभागिता है और कितनी समानता है। राजनीति में बहुत महिलाएं हैं, लेकिन जितनी भी महिलाएं राजनीति में आज वर्तमान में हैं, उसमें 50% महिलाएं ऐसी हैं जिनके पति ये कहलाना पसंद करते हैं कि वो विधायक पति हैं, वो प्रधान पति हैं, वो ब्लॉक प्रमुख पति हैं। इसे दूर करने की आवश्यकता है। क्या कभी किसी पत्नी को ये तगमा पहनाया जाता है कि ये विधायक पत्नी है, ये प्रधान पत्नी है, ये ब्लॉक प्रमुख पत्नी है, या किसी कॉरपोरेटर की पत्नी है? क्या उस पत्नी का फ्लेक्स में फोटो लगता है क्या? लेकिन ये बड़ा सहज है, ये चीज़ें सहजता से हम लेते हैं। लेकिन अगर कोई प्रधानपति है तो उसके बैनर में उसकी फोटो लगेगी, अगर कोई विधायक पति है तो बैनर में उसकी फोटो लगेगी। हम आज उस देश में रह रहे हैं जिस देश के प्रधानमंत्री इस देश की आधी आबादी को आगे बढ़ाने की बात करते हैं। हम आज उस देश में रह रहे हैं जिस देश के प्रधानमंत्री इस देश के युवा वर्ग को कहते हैं कि आगे आओ और इस देश के नेतृत्व को तुम संभालो, आपके अंदर नेतृत्व क्षमता होनी चाहिए। तो जब इस देश के प्रधानमंत्री ऐसे नेतृत्व क्षमता की कल्पना कर रहे हैं कि ऐसा देश हो जहां पर कोई डिस्क्रिमिनेशन ना हो, जहां पर महिला और पुरुष में कोई विभेद ना हो, कोई भेद ना हो, तो आवश्यक है कि हम इन चीज़ों को अपने विचारों में ले आए, अपने विचारों में इनबिल्ट करें, हमारे संस्कारों में वो चीज़ें आनी चाहिए। जिस दिन हम इन चीज़ों का बीज बो देंगे, अपने घर से इसकी शुरुआत करनी पड़ेगी, अपने अंदर से इसकी शुरुआत करनी पड़ेगी। जिस दिन हम अपने घर में अपने अंदर इस बीज को बो देंगे, बहुत जल्द हमारे समाज का सिनेरियो ही बदल जाएगा। और निश्चित रूप से यहाँ तक पहुँचने के लिए हमें बहुत लंबा सफ़र तय करना है, और यहाँ तक का सफ़र तो तय करना ही पड़ेगा। इन बिंदुओं पर चर्चा करनी पड़ेगी, इन बिंदुओं पर हमें रिसर्च करना पड़ेगा, शोध करना पड़ेगा। और मेरा आग्रह है कि इसकी मशाल को लेकर आप चलिए, आप आगे बढ़िए, क्योंकि रोज इस तरह के कार्यक्रम नहीं होंगे जहां इस तरह के विचारों को रखा जाएगा। और ये इतना अच्छा कार्यक्रम है, मैं महिला आयोग को भी धन्यवाद देती हूँ, और MIT ने अपना प्रेमाइस दिया, आपने पूरा सहयोग किया, आपने ऑर्गेनाइज किया इस कार्यक्रम को, इसके लिए आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। क्योंकि इस कार्यक्रम की सफलता तभी है जब हम यहाँ से इन विचारों को लेकर जाएं और सामने वाले को बताएं कि हम इन विचार को लेकर के चल रहे हैं और हमें अब स्वयं मुझे बदलना है, अपने घर को बदलना है। तभी हम बदले हुए समाज की परिकल्पना कर सकते हैं, तभी हम बदले हुए समाज को देख सकते हैं। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। अच्छा लगा, मैंने शायद 2 लोगों का समय ले लिया, लेकिन फिर भी मुझे नहीं पता ये टाइम लिमिट MIT ने डिसाइड किया या विमेन कमीशन ने डिसाइड किया। ये बड़े गंभीर विषय हैं, इन विषयों के लिए आप चाहे एक दिन में एक ही किसी का आप विषय रखवाइए, लेकिन इन विषयों के लिए कभी किसी को समय में मत बांधिएगा, क्योंकि हर महिला के अंदर बड़ी आग है, उस आग को सुनने के लिए समय चाहिए, समय देना होगा। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मैम, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दोज scintillating words. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the final distinguished speaker for today. May I kindly request my technical team to relay a short film on Honorable Shri V.S. Sampatji, former Chief Election Commissioner of India. Over to my technical team.
Valli Sundaram Sampath served as the 18th Chief Election Commissioner of the Election Commission of India from 2012 to 2015. In his long administrative stint, he served in various capacities and led large teams in managing natural disasters and cyclone relief in rural areas of coastal Andhra Pradesh. He also led several state-owned financial institutions and held portfolios like Secretary in Agriculture Department and Principal Secretary in Energy Department. Shri Sampath also held numerous postings in the central government, including Director General of NIRD and Secretary of Chemicals and Petrochemicals. Later, he also served as the Secretary in the Central Power Ministry and looked after renovation and modernization of Indian power utilities. He smoothly conducted the 14th general elections in India in 2014. Over 550 million voters participated, making it the highest voting percentage ever since Indian independence. As Chief Election Commissioner, he pioneered several reforms like expenditure monitoring, setting up of flying squads, introduction of VVPAT and ECI SVEEP, Shri Sampath has been a long-time advocate of voting rights for the NRIs, and under his stewardship, the Election Commission devised model voting solutions with all basic amenities and essential requirements to make voting an enjoyable experience. We warmly welcome Shri Veeravalli Sundaram Sampath.
With great pride and honor, we would like to welcome Sir. May we have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And I would like to humbly request Sir to address the gathering. Over to you, Sir.
Shri Karat Sahab, Mr. Jatav ji, who could not be present because of his other commitments, Srimati Swati Singh, Meeta Rajiv Lochan ji, National Commission for Women, Dr. Grisan ji, distinguished participants in the program. It's really a very great privilege to be part of this valedictory, which was also accompanied by a light and sound show. We had everything which one can think of in this majestic dome. I am sure that all of you must have feasted yourselves with this program in the last 3 days, ending with today. Though I feel awfully bad to stand between you and lunch. Already it is well past lunchtime. I have lost half of the audience already. I am really very grateful to the other half who have the patience and perseverance to sit through, listen to what we have to say. As you know, my relevance, reason why I have been invited for this program, I should presume elections is one of the prime means for empowerment of women. Keeping that objective in view, I am sure Mr. Conrad must have chosen somebody like me to come and talk to you today. Without prolonging your misery too long, I have to tell you, when first election, 1952 election was conducted, at that time, like it was a practice in several newly emerging democracies like ours, women were not even entered in the electoral roll by their proper names, proper nouns. Their names were entered in the rolls only with reference to their male partners, like simply wife of so and so, daughter of so and so, not even the name of that person. That was the case. So Election Commission under Mr. Sukumar Sen had to debate this issue and decided we should make a beginning with giving identity for women in the electoral rolls by putting their own names in that. Whether it is wife of or husband of, sister, brother, forget about it, put the name. That was the decision. But the cost of the decision was, because of the old practice, 28 lakh women voters who insisted on putting their names with reference to their other coordinates. They wrote not the name, but wife of Samanjit Lal, things like that. They could not vote. But still, the principle stood. The result is today, as was mentioned by Meeta ji earlier, from a deficit of gender ratio, female-male participation in the election, which was as high as 16%, minus 16, not long back, it had become plus 0.17 in this election. Just a concluded national election, 2019. The election which I conducted, 2014, in that also, from the earlier election, where the gap between female-male participation in voting was something like 4.5% in the previous one, which had come down to 1.4%. which had further come down, now gone to the plus side, 0.17. That way, what the other machineries in the country have to do as their part in enabling women empowerment, they have all been doing. But what is important is the political class, are they doing their best, is the question which we all must ask ourselves. You all know the fate of women reservation bill in Parliament about 8-9 years ago, how it did not go through, how it fell. It is one thing to say in the first cabinet of Nehru there are only 2 women ministers. Today you have 11 ministers. But if that empowerment bill had gone through, it will not be 11. It would have been 21 or 31. That would have been the number. Women, please don't, I am sure you will not. Still, I have to tell you, don't take this, because when a society, a polity is not mature enough to give women what is due to them, you have to get it by force. That's what you should do. And making this kind of reservation, enactments, is doing it by force. Next time round, whichever political government dares to bring that bill before Parliament, I am sure women in this country, led by leaders of the women groups in different states and in the country, you will have to take it upon yourself. See to it that it goes through. Please do not think that reservation is something which is not desirable, abominable, or any such thing. No. In a system like ours, you need this to get to what is your due place. One is about, otherwise there is no reason why a section of polity which is about 50%, in voting you have become more than 50%. How is it that your elected representatives in Parliament is only 78? Should it not be 200 in House of 541? And once it is there, automatically other things will follow. Every other president will be a woman. Every third person, prime minister will be a woman. Every third minister will be a woman. That is something which will automatically come if you are there at the basement. If you are not there at the basement, whatever efforts you make, I don't think you are going to reach the pinnacles, which is the object of most of us. Whatever else you are trying to do by way of ensuring justice for women, protecting against the injustice, all these things are fine. But coming to brutal frankness, these are all only eating at the fringes. Once you have your due place in leadership roles, all these things will automatically subside. I remember there are some from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, etc. The time, quite a few decades back, there was a Harijan as the chief minister of undivided Andhra Pradesh, Mr. Sanjeevayya. So those of you who are from that belt would know. The moment he became the chief minister, no other thing is needed for empowerment of scheduled caste. Their empowerment levels would have gone up by an index of something like 20-25% straight away. That person. This is applicable not only for that, for any community. I am not trying to preach casteism or communalism here. Please take it in positive sense. Once you come, automatically that index of empowerment, index of participation will go up manifold. So not for nothing these things are provided. So why are we setting up women controlled police stations? Why are we setting up women preside at polling stations? All these have a significance. Don't think they are only symbols. They have much more than symbolism. So, from your angle, in addition to whatever you are doing, my appeal to you would be to create consciousness, awareness for the polity at large to work towards these things. I am awfully sorry that I have to stand before you on lunch for such a long period. I don't want to take any more time. If there is one more such gathering, Karad Sahab, I would request you to invite me for the forenoon session, not for the afternoon session. So thank you all the best.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words of wisdom. And since you mentioned a very important point of raising awareness and consciousness, it is with great pride we would like to mention that at MIT World Peace University, the MIT School of Government was initiated in the year 2005 by Honorable Executive President Shri Rahul V. Karad, who also inaugurated a very important campaign, which is the most important campaign, and that is called Breaking the Colonial Mindset, where I remember Madam mentioning about the most important point of India versus Bharat, and sir has already launched it under MIT-WPU School of Government. So now we'll have the felicitation of 5 very important members. May I kindly request our dignitaries to do the honors. Dr. Malti Narayan Swamiji from the state of Tamil Nadu, Mrs. Geeta Natarajan ji, Mrs. Bhagwati Rajendra ji, Mrs. Rani ji, and Mrs. Sitapati. These are all members from Tamil Nadu. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give a huge round of applause for their participation in this very important workshop. Please give a huge round of applause. May I request all the participants to kindly rise for the national anthem. I request my technical team to kindly relay the national anthem. I also request Dr. Gireesan, the director of MIT School of Government, to give the vote of thanks.
I'll just take only 2 minutes. I stand here to express a deep sense of gratitude to all those who have participated, who have organized, facilitated, and supported for the conduct of the Leadership Development Program for the incumbents of state women's commissions from all over the country. At the outset, I would like to express deep sense of gratitude to the Chairperson, National Commission for Women, Sri Rekha Sharma ji, and Madam Mita Rajiv Lojan ji, the Member Secretary of National Commission for Women. and the guests and speakers, Sri V.S. Sambat sir, Madam Swati Singh ji, Dr. Narendra Jadhav, and chairpersons, vice chairpersons, and members of State Women's Commission from 17 states. It was a great privilege for us to join with you and to organize a short program. And MIT School of Government, I'll just take only 1 minute. School is the only school in the country which offers a program on political leadership and government for 2 years. And we are on a mission. We are committed to develop or transform youth towards committed, compassionate, dynamic, ethical, professional, and value-oriented leaders for the future. And we are on a mission to train from Panchayat to Parliament. And I would like to express a vote of thanks to Madam Vijay Rahatkar, who was in the inaugural session, Madam Rupali Chayangar, Madam Ilabadi from Professor Prem Rajput, Professor Dr. Mahesh Zagade, Varsha Das, Dr. Nair, Madam Vijayalakshmi Rao, Dr. Seema Rao, Gauri Hardikar, and all the resource persons who have delivered and who have discussed various aspects of the sessions. And technical sessions were very informative, relevant, and at the same time it was empowering. Of course, we have also had very heated discussions at some point. It's very important in our journey of empowerment. And I also would like to place on record our deep reverence and gratitude to the founder of this MIT-WPU University, Professor Vishwanath Karat, and Dr. Rahul V. Karat, and all the other members, Vice Chancellor, Registrar, and all other members of the organizing committee to contribute towards making this program to a success. And I wish to place on record to the various committee members and my colleagues of MIT School of Government and Institutional Relations team and the events team who contributed together to give a shape. And I'm sure it's a beginning step. I'm sure we have a long way to go towards contributing towards women empowerment. With that, I end, and all the best, and Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. May I kindly request my technical team to have the national anthem.
जनमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Bharat Mata Ki, Vande Mataram. Thank you so much, everyone. It was indeed a great gathering, and I wish you all the very best for your future endeavors. Dear delegates, participants, thank you so much. May we now proceed for lunch, and I request all of you to stay connected and wish you good luck for many more years to come. Thank you so much. Take care, stay safe.